Hey friends, it's Simon with toughtrader.com. It's Saturday night at 11:30 at night, and just having an opportunity to do some of my best thinking in the evening when the babies are asleep and the wife is relaxing, and I can get some quiet time in to kind of review what I did on the trade. So this is not going to be a full out trade review of Friday's trade. I'm going to do that in just a moment. However, what this is a specific algo setup that I wanted to go through in the room so that everyone can see how the trade set up, how we set it up real time in the room, and how it played out in the afternoon, right? So a couple things before we get started so that everyone's on the same page. So first of all, let me get through the disclaimer, which I think is important here. Actually, not only do I think it's important, it's required. So there we go. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is for educational purposes only, right? This is not a solicitation to buy, sell equities, futures, options, and/or currency trading. Day trading in particular is the highest risk activity you can do in the investing world. Make sure you're suited for it. Check with a registered investment advisor, and make sure that you have a risk plan and that you really know what you're doing before you get in, because it's just so easy to burn money, and the challenges are very high at the day trading level, which is why I do coach individuals one-on-one. It's why I do run the room to try to help people through that process. At any rate, that's my 2 cents about that. So let's first take a look at the picture for the day. So coming into the day, what we had was, this was prior. I'm going to show you these areas. This is prior day's high, which was also value area high. This is prior day's low, is way down here, never came in the picture. This was value area low, and this is the beginning of a support area. That 2659 is the beginning of a support area. And then this yellow zone right here in the middle, I'm going to spread this out so everyone can see it. Just this yellow area, I'm going to box it off right here, right? This yellow area was a primary support resistance zone. It landed right in the middle of the range, but you can see for the day, that resistance zone had a pretty good effect. You can see where we opened up, we drove right into the support resistance zone, drove right out, drove underneath it, all the way down to the next support resistance zone, which was between the value area low and this purple area, which was effectively the second zone of the day. We drive right back up to the yellow zone, reject out of it. Then we finally get above, backside test the yellow zone, and come out. So that's great. The advantage to the zones that I post every day are pretty straightforward, and those zones work by themselves. I also either want to use those zones as targets for my trades to hit, right? And or areas where I want to initiate trades for the most part, right? So what I'm going to go and describe is how we were able to capture this setup right here, where we were able to capture this short and push to the downside. So here we go. So number one part of the day, it's getting towards the end of the day, and what we already know from the market preview is that, and from the profile, which I'm going to pull up right here, right? This profile tells me I'm inside from Friday. The blue area is the value area. Inside value area, what you tend to get is price action that looks like this. Just kind of jumps all around, goes up and down, but really net doesn't go anywhere. Just really kind of runs stops all over the place. And you can bet dollars to donuts, when you're inside a prior day's value area, you are in a chop zone, or an area that's going to chop around quite a bit. Okay, so now that we know that, we know the context for the day inside prior day's value area. We know clearly where the support areas are, right? And they're marked off on the charts. Okay, and now we're going to come and see what the setup we were looking for and what I'm trying to cover here. Because if you wait patiently all day long, you would have been able to pick up this trade in real time. And what you're going to see here is that right about here at 12:13 p.m. So that is, I'm going to mark down the chart. That's this high right here. And you'll see at the time when you're looking at this chart, doesn't look very bearish, right? We've gotten over our consolidation period. And this is a place where a lot of people were thinking, oh, now we're going to break out and push to the high. But if you'll look, and you really don't have a clue that it's going to come back in from here, but the algo does give you a very clear setup. And I'm going to explain the reason why. So first of all, while we're sitting here, we got a beautiful print right on top of 0 by 1678. And the algo presents itself in two different ways. So what I know from this bar, this is reading order flow in real time. So what I know from this bar is that they printed a very large number on the ask at the very top, right? I know that I'm still, because this is my value area high, I'm still within value, right? And I also printed an imbalance right at the low. That's pretty good. But from this bar alone, I already know is a high odds setup, and I'm pretty much going to take it every single time. If I have a stop about 2 points, 2 to 3 points above this number right here, I know I have a very high odds of making this trade work. And I usually don't need it. I usually don't even get past this particular point of the setup, right? So setup number 2, what else told me that I could take this trade? So this part of the algo, which is on another screen, right over here. And what you're going to see is we're looking at the exact same time right here. And what you'll see is we printed that 1678 right on top. And what I can see from this version of the algo is that after they printed that high positive number, 1678, everything underneath were sells. See that? Every single tick below, they were hitting the bid really hard. So you'll hear the term in when they are discussing order flow where they lifted the bids, right? Or they hit the offers, right? So this is hitting the offers. This is hitting the bids, not lifting the offers, right? Just the opposite. They are hitting the bids. I apologize, my ADD kicked in there. And this just screams to me when I'm trading, I'm totally willing to take so what that tells me is when I see a bar like this, I am willing to take a loss. Now, I want to show you here in this video, if I can pull it up quickly. And we are going to hit play. I'm going to blow this up. Okay. So what you see me doing, and I'm not going to take all the way through this 3-minute period because this takes 3 minutes, but what you're going to see is I'm calling attention to the rim and I'm pointing out, hey, we've pushed up here, and you're about to see me mark this off here in real time. And I'm going to say, first of all, I'm showing that we had a big delta push here to the left, the 2078, the 1943, and everything's kind of dropped off here. So all of a sudden we get negative 867, then they push one more time with a 698. But what I'm highlighting, and you'll see I just drew that arrow right to it, is that we now have that 1678, and I'm pointing exactly to where I think the downside target is. That's VWAP for the day. And so what I am targeting is a 4 to 5 point profit. Okay, so now you see me set this up, and what I'm about to do is point out where at a minimum my closest stop that I want. So I'm going to set that stop at 2675, right? And what you're going to see is this trade. So if we just dragged it out, what I'm discussing here is that what we did is we had a whole bunch of people lifted the offers over here to the left, right? And all of a sudden we hit with the 1678 and everyone hit the bids on the other end. Okay, so this is another indicator. Let's not pay any attention to it whatsoever for now. And what I'm going to do is instead of making everyone wait 2 more minutes, you now see where I pointed to the target. Now I'm going to grab this and I'm going to move it. And we're going to cover 3 minutes of time, right? So see how it looks like it's going nowhere. It's sitting there. See how it's going back and forth? And then, bam, right into VWAP. That was the target. So the short would have been approximately 2671.50. The stop would have been above here around 2675, right? You really didn't want it past the point of control, but I tend to be a little more generous with my stops than other people because I don't like trying to do it perfectly. I try to like just getting into the ballpark of where I know I have a high odds trade set up. And then you can see we push right into VWAP for a win. And what that ended up looking like here, and I'm going to wrap it up, is when you look at it from the end here and you progress, you'll see we pushed in, right? So it was interesting. There was 2 trades here. We push in, right? And you're already done here. You've already got 2671.50 to 2666. You've accomplished your 5-point target. That's $250 per contract if you're trading, right? On the S&P 500. And now you'll notice as we push back up, we get one more setup. I'm going to show you. So see how we come back into this bar? This bar is now a major resistance point. What you're going to see is you're going to come right back in to this point, approach that, and now you're going to see that they come right back after testing that area one more time. with another 5-point trade right to the downside. So you literally in the afternoon could have hit this first for the first 5 points to the downside, come back and tested just a massive amount of selling in that one bar, and you could have hit it a second time for 5 points. Both of them were pretty quick trades, and actually, believe it or not, we ended up getting set up with a pretty nice long off of this bar right here, or pushed back to the upside. But so late in the day, I wouldn't have taken it. That was a really nice long setup. The objective is, for the most part in the room, to stay away from trading at initiating at VWAP and instead using that as a target to push in. So I wanted to make a brief demonstration of what it looks like in real time, setting up the trade. I'm going to go through this one more time so everyone can see it just one more time and get a look at that, right? So what you'll see is we're going to come all the way back here, right? Now we're going to pull it forward. You're going to see I've come over here. Not what I wanted to do. Okay, I'm going to grab this. So what you see right there is that I've highlighted the 1678, that bar is very, very important, and that we are now looking for a short side setup in the room, right? That you have a good risk reward here. You're going to see the bars take a couple of minutes to set up, and then you're going to see the market realize that everyone is trapped up there, and they are going to come in and immediately move it down. And if you look, by the time they finally let it go, it took less than a minute to achieve your push down into 2667, and another minute or so to get the push all the way to 6650 to be able to acquire your total of 5 points on the trade. So that's how we do it in the room. If you're interested in visiting us in the room, please send me an email to Trade and Perform. The email is tradenperform@gmail.com, or you can go to our website and sign up on. There's a little link on the website at toughtrader.com and ask for information. I'm happy to extend a 5-day pass to anyone who would like it in the room. My name is Simon. I'm a one-on-one trading coach, professional trader, and we run the room to help traders improve and work as a team environment. So anyways, have a great night, guys.